This wildcard round might be the best wildcard round we've seen in recent history. All right, now before I get too deep in the video, I want to say a couple of things. First thing is, make sure you go ahead and leave a like in this video. I know you're going to enjoy this video, so you might as well go ahead and leave a like before the video's even done, because I know you're going to enjoy it. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel as well, because if you like this video, you're going to like my other videos. I post videos like this all the time, so go ahead and leave a subscription and check out the rest of the videos on the channel. But that's all I got. Let's get into the video. Okay, it's time, guys. It's time. The NFL playoffs have officially, well, not officially, but they will have officially began tomorrow on January 10th, and we have some matchups. I actually think every single one of these games has potential to be a banger. Not saying all of them are going to be a banger. I just think all of them have potential to be a banger. And the first game that I want to start with is none other than the Buffalo Bills versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, here's the thing. I think records are misleading. The Buffalo Bills are 12-5. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 13-14. Let's start with the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills they're a team for me at least. They are a team that I feel like I know who they are. Honestly and truthfully, without this guy right here, and without James Cook, if I can find him, wherever he is, without those two guys, this Buffalo Bills team is nothing. They're nothing. Truth be told. They are nothing. This is a team to where you look at 12-5. You look at everything they have been able to do, but from a statistical standpoint, Josh Allen and James Cook do a lot of the carrying of this offense. And outside of Dalton Kincaid, there aren't really many legit weapons or threats on this offense, if any. And this defense is not a defense I would be scared of personally. Truth be told, especially if I'm like the Jacksonville Jaguars, this defense not really that strong. And that's why in this matchup, and you can kind of see it as well, like they are able to put up yards, they're able to put up points. They keep the ball, but they don't really get that much pressure on the quarterback, as we can see. And the secondary is not one that I would be scared of, again. And I just think when you have teams like this who are, especially in a game like football, who the majority of their workload comes from two people, like I honestly believe if you are able to shut down James Cook, it's over with. Not to say that the Josh Allen can't be a miracle, because I know how great Josh Allen is. But I think if the Jacksonville Jaguars come out here and shut down James Cook, it's grits for the Bills. Especially when I look at this Jacksonville Jaguars team, and really not the team, but just how they have performed over the last couple of games. They have been probably the best team in the league in the last stretch in the season. I mean, they ended the season on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 game win streak. Blowing out the Chargers, beating the Cardinals, beating the Titans, beating the Colts, beating the Jets, beating the Broncos in a very impressive game in which Trevor Lawrence played his ass off, beating the Colts, beating the Titans. They had, going to the playoffs on an 8-game win streak, it really doesn't get that much hotter. It actually does not get better than that. Because I'm not going to lie, especially after this loss to Houston, it was some questions floating around over the legitimacy of the Jaguars team. The Jaguars team started the season about as bad as you could start, right? I mean, they beat the Carolina Panthers, whoop-de-whoop, but then you lose to the Cincinnati Bengals, and then you should get in a dogfight with the Texans. You beat the 49ers, you beat the Chiefs, but then you lose to Seattle. You lose to the Rams. You barely beat the Las Vegas Raiders, who were horrible, actually, might I add. Then you beat the Houston Texans. So then week 11 comes, and a lot of people are sitting up here like, I think this Jaguars team is good, but I don't know how good they are. I don't know if they are legit like contenders. And I mean, that's really how the NFL was as a whole this year. But I'm specifically talking about Jacksonville. They came into the year with high expectations, and Trevor Lawrence was inconsistent. I remember earlier we had some questions about Brian Thomas. It was just like, yo, like this team, they look so good, but on the field, the product is not matching up. And then shoot, you lose to the Texans, and hell, hey, I mean, don't get much better than this. An 8-game win streak and a very impressive win over who is now the number 1 seed in this AFC conference. And I just have to take Jacksonville in this game. I have to take Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville is going to beat the Bills. But I think it's going to be a close game just because, yo, Josh Allen and James Cook are really that nice. They are really that nice. And I do think Josh Allen, this could be a game where, shoot, Josh Allen goes out and he just sits up here and has like the game of a lifetime. Like he goes out there, backpacks the team, carries them to a W. Because he is that type of talent. Josh Allen is literally that type of talent, and he could do that, especially if the Jaguars come in this joint like, you know, a little lazy, moseying around, not all the way prepared. Yeah, I think Josh Allen can rock their world. I think Josh Allen has the potential to rock their world. But I think just with the way that, like I said, T-Law has been playing over the past couple of games, the type of rhythm that this team has found, and just with the lack of, just with all the, the head coach of Liam Cohen, with the way he's been coaching up this team, I just think there are too many things in Jacksonville's favor for me to sit up here and say that they are going to lose. Point blank period. So in this first one, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars advancing. Yeah, that's why I got advancing. In the first round 1, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars beating the Bills. Now, in the next game I'm going to cover, none other than the Los Angeles Chargers versus the New England Patriots. Now, let me start off by saying this. Coming into the season, I was as big of a Chargers supporter as it gets without being a fan. I truthfully felt, even though I didn't all the way like the way that this team has been constructed, because it's more so constructed to run the ball, to ground and pound, to do all these things, and that just really wasn't what I think this team needed to do. That really wasn't my MO for this team with a guy like Justin Herbert. With a guy like Justin Herbert on the team, I'm just looking at this team. I'm like, bro, like, you don't need to be building a run-first team. You need to build a team that can throw that joint. You got Justin Herbert back there. But this season, going to be honest, Justin Herbert has, and I'm a big Justin Herbert guy, but he has had some moments where he has just been very questionable. Shout out to Kamani Vidal. The run game has actually been pretty good. This offensive line that they have has been pretty good. And you know, it's been able to foster and allow a phenomenal run game over there in Los Angeles. However, the New England Patriots are a team like, bro, they're 14-3. You know what I'm saying? I think they had the best. No, they don't have the best record in the NFL, but they had the skid like later on in the season. But New England is 14-3. The Chargers have had some struggles against upper echelon competition in these playoffs. I mean, not in these playoffs, in this regular season. But I just don't think, I'm gonna be honest, I don't view the Patriots as upper echelon competition. I know we look at second place. I mean, they scored second most points. They put all these yards up per game. They've been so good, so dominant this season. Let me show you their schedule. And this happens when you're one of the not so good teams in the NFL. You're bound to get this type of schedule, but Raiders, you lose to Raiders, you beat the Dolphins, you lose to Steelers, you beat the Panthers, cool. You beat the Bills. But a lot of these guys, a lot of the people that they're playing and they're beating aren't really that impressive. I mean, the Dolphins, come on now. The Panthers, I mean, I'm a Panthers fan, but come on now. We came out here and we shit the bed this game. The Bills, come on now. I told you how I felt about the Bills. Without Josh Allen or James Cook, bro, they can be stopped. They can be neutralized, and that's exactly what happened here. You beat the Saints. Come on, bro. The Titans, the Browns, the Falcons, the Bucks, the Jets, the Bengals, the Giants. Bro, half of these teams that they beat, we can count. Let's count how many teams that they have beaten are in the playoffs right now. One. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 So out of all the teams that they beat this season, only one of these teams are in the playoffs. Now, granted, bro, there's nothing that you can really do about this if you are the Patriots. I'm not penalizing them for this. You go out and you play against whoever is in front of you, and you take care of it that way. Cool. However, I have to be objective when I'm seeing this, right? I have to be objective when I'm looking at stuff like this, bro. If I look at the Chargers' full schedule, yeah, they got more losses. They have more losses. They lost 6 games, but they beat the number 1 seed in the NFL. They were able to sit up here. They beat the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? They beat a feisty Chiefs team. They beat the Cowboys. They had a close game against the Texans. They they ended up losing to Broncos in the final game of the regular season. But this team is way more tested, in my opinion. I think they've played more competitive games. I think they've seen more stuff. I think this team is just overall more ready for playoff level football. In my opinion, I just think the Patriots, they just played a lot of the teams who are like type teams that were even before the season started. We're looking at them and we're saying, yeah, I think we're just going to, we trying to see what draft pick we can get. We trying to see, can we be the top pick in the draft and try to get Dante Moore or somebody like that. Point blank period. And there's nothing against them, but I have to be honest and objective when looking at this team and say, yeah, you guys are 14-3, but your strength of schedule is weak as hell. Drake May is legit. Stephon Diggs has had a pretty good season. Trayvon Henderson, good season as well. But I'm not really looking at this Patriots team, and I'm looking at them and like, oh, snap, they kind of put some fear in my heart if I'm a team like the Chargers. Really, if I'm any team. Because I just feel like when they get up against legitimate competition, they just kind of struggle a little bit. I mean, I just showed you their schedule. They haven't really played that many legitimate teams this season. So for that reason, I got to take the Chargers in this one. I'm not going to give out no score predictions, but I'm going to take the Chargers in this one. And then on Monday Night Football, you have none other than the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Houston Texans. I am going to take the Houston Texans. And it's not quite simple as to why I'm going to take the Houston Texans. But this Steelers team, I just think they're very mid. They're very mediocre. The win that they got over the Ravens was very, impressive. I will give them that. I'll give them that. It was a very impressive win. But this is just a type of team. And when they go up against arguably the best defense in the NFL and another team that actually I don't even know. I didn't really lock in on the Texans over the last couple of games in the season. But I know for a fact the Texans started to kind of find their groove throughout the last couple of games of the season. You beat the Colts, you beat the Chargers, you beat the Raiders, you beat the Cardinals, you beat the Chiefs. So they're coming in on a one. They beat Jacksonville 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 game win streak. The Texans are at hot as fish grease. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, I mean, they were struggling against the Ravens. Imagine what's going to happen when you have arguably, I'm going to say the best defense in the NFL going up against you. On top of C.J. Stroud sitting up here slinging that thing to Nico Collins. Yeah, man. Do I think it can be competitive? Sure. You have Aaron Rodgers. There's some people on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I ain't going to cap. But I just see the Texans handling them very easily. Personally. I don't really see it being that close. Honestly, I think this Texans defense is the main reason why I believe that as well. Yeah, you're on the road and all these different types of things, but I just don't see how with this great of a Texan defense and with how underwhelming the Steelers offense is, Aaron Rodgers has lost a step. There's nobody on that offense that really scares me. How anyone can really sit up here and say that, yeah, they're going to beat the Houston Texans. I'm going to take the Texans in this game. Give me the Texans. So coming out the AFC in round 1, I got Jacksonville, the Chargers, and the Texans. Boom. That's my wild card predictions for the AFC. Now we go over to the NFC. And man, hey, look. I mean, actually, I gotta talk about him. Come on, bro. I gotta talk, bro. I gotta talk about him, bro. My Carolina Panthers, first in the NFC South, 8-9. Look, bro. Shh. Hold on. Let me look. Shh. Shush all that noise, bro. Because before the season, I was saying that we were going to win the NFC South. I was saying that we were the best team in the NFC South. I was saying that when it comes to the end of the season, we're going to be in that wild card round in the playoffs. And y'all, man, I ain't going to say what y'all did, bro. Just look at my comments on that TikTok. Man, they was clowning me. And here we are in the playoffs playing the Los Angeles Rams, a familiar foe. A foe that actually, if we dive into the season, a little bit, we beat them. We beat them at the bank. And guess where this game is at? At the bank. Now, I'm not saying by any means that we're going to go out here and we're going to beat the Los Angeles Rams again, and that's just is what it is. It is very difficult to beat a team twice. Very difficult to beat a team twice. I mean, I think we've seen that in the college football playoffs. We've had plenty of teams sit up here and go up against each other. Georgia had played, Alabama played Georgia in the SEC championship. After beating them early in the season, they ended up losing. So, like, it's obviously not a shoe-in, right? Cool. But with that being said, the Los Angeles Rams put no fear in my heart. Especially when at the time that we beat them, the Los Angeles Rams, they were hot as fish grease. They were actually like they were at this point like the favorites. Cause they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We played in week 11, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they had won 9 games and only lost 1, 2. Yeah, they were 9-2 when they played up against us. They were 9 or no, they were they were 10-2 when they played up against us, and having some very impressive wins. And for us to beat them in the bank, especially in the manner that which we did, it's very impressive. And the Rams, honestly and truthfully, I say this confidently, they put no fear in my heart. As a Carolina Panthers fan, I think we are more than capable of winning this game. If we come out prepared. We come out ready to play a playoff football game. Because think about this Carolina football team is the fact that we have a tendency to kind of just be very inconsistent. I mean, if you look at this season, bro, we started off 0-2, losing to the Jaguars and Arizona Cardinals. Then we blow out the Falcons. Then we get smacked by the Patriots. And then we are able to go on a cool little 3-game win streak. We beat the Dolphins, the Cowboys, the Jets. Then we get smacked by the Bills. Then we get a close win versus Green Bay. Then we get beat by the Saints. Then we beat Atlanta, beat by the 49ers. We beat the Rams, beat by the Saints again. We beat the Bucks, beat by the Seahawks. We lose to the Bucks too. Again, even though we were holding that game. That was one of the worst poorly officiated games I've ever seen in my life. So this is a team that has been very inconsistent, but we have typically, when we go up against these top dogs, like the Packers, that was when they had Micah, like the Rams, we show up. We play. And I just don't know if that's what we're going to be on tomorrow. And that's what scares me about this Panthers team. Bro, legit. And trust me, this is really hard for me because the Rams, they've had a shaky, in my opinion. I know you're going to look at, they've won X amount of games. They have had a shaky couple of weeks, really, ever since they lost to us. You beat the Cardinals, you beat the Lions, and you lose to the Seahawks in the OT game in which Matthew Stafford did not look good late in that fourth quarter. Then you lose to the Falcons. And then you beat the Cardinals, whatever, it's the Cardinals. So this game is kind of tricky because when I view this, I'm looking at two very shaky teams. I'm viewing the Rams team to where recently they haven't really been who they were at the start of the season. I'm viewing the Panthers team to where they've been very inconsistent. Literally, like the last couple of weeks, it's been win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. So, I don't know who to take. So if I don't know who to take, I'm going to be biased. I'm a biased guy. Listen, let me tell you one thing about me. I'm a biased guy. I have no issue saying I'm a biased guy. I have prejudice. I have bias. Guys, I'm gonna lean towards the Carolina Panthers. I wish there was a way I could like click on the Panthers, like to like say that we were gonna win. And I actually was going to go to this game, but I ain't had the bread for it. I'm gonna be real for you. I mean, real with you. But I have the Carolina Panthers beating the Los Angeles Rams in an upset because I genuinely don't know who to pick in this game, honestly and truthfully. And I don't think this is a knock against the Rams or anything like that. I just think that shows that like, regardless of who we're playing, even if we were playing Green Bay, even if we were playing Chicago, San Francisco, or Philadelphia, I still would have had the same thought process because honestly and truthfully, there's nobody that I see on the screen on either side of the bracket to where I'm looking at them and I'm saying like, yeah, they might be more. I mean, I might be saying, yeah, they have more talent than us, but they're outright better than us. Like we can't go out there and beat them because we beat Green Bay when they were at the peak of their powers, when they had Michael Parsons and Jordan Love was balling. We beat the Los Angeles Rams. When the Seahawks, it was like tied at halftime. So we've been competitive in all these games. It's just always been the thing of we've inconsistent. We haven't been prepared. There have been certain things on our end. You know, a lot of people, y'all gonna say I'm biased. Y'all gonna say I'm riding. I'm D-riding. And it is what it is, but this is truthfully what I see. But honestly, and I think that more so speaks to how evenly balanced the NFL has been. I mean, even when you look at this bracket right here in front of me, tell me is there anybody that you see like in years past you're like, yeah, they're going to win? The Chiefs ain't here. The Seahawks in Denver, sure, they're the number one seed, but are we really looking at them saying they're going to outright take this thing? No, not at all. Not at all. And that's exactly how I feel. So I'm going to take Carolina Panthers over the Los Angeles Rams. Yep. And then we have the next game tomorrow, Saturday night, prime time. The Bears versus the Packers at Soldier Field in Chicago. And the Bears are another team where, they are coming into this, even though they lost last week, right? They lost to the Lions. They are coming into this, and the 49ers, they're coming into this with still some sense of, like, momentum. Some sense of like gratification of knowing that they belong because they've had a very impressive season. I believe that did they win the division? Are they won? Yeah, they won the NFC North, a competitive NFC North that is, and they are sitting up here prime and probably by a lot of people the favorite in the game versus their division rivals who they beat in a thriller earlier in the season. I remember this because DJ Moore caught that crazy pass from Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has been balling out as of recent. DJ Moore has been balling out. This Chicago's team is just hitting on all cylinders. And truthfully told, like, DeAndre Swift even looks good this season. Like, who would have thought? Ben Johnson has his team, like, playing at a high level. And you sit up here and you have them against, a team like the Packers, who I believe they're going to have Jordan Love back. Yeah, so they're going to have Jordan Love back. Like they're going to be, at pretty, full strength, full speed. I have to take Chicago because I just think the Packers kind of got dealt a bad hand. If Michael was playing this game, I honestly would have taken the Packers, truth be told. I trust Matt LaFleur, even though I've heard he's on the hot seat, and I can get why, but I just think it's just more so of team issues that and not to say he hasn't made mistakes as a coach, but I feel like it's more stuff that hasn't really been in his control. But I have to take the Bears. I just think the Bears are a better team. I think they have the better coach at this point as well, and I think that they have more momentum on their side. And I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be another dogfight. Don't get me wrong, but give me Chicago Bears, man. Give me Caleb Williams with his nails painted and the Chicago Bears. And then in the final game, or not the final game, but, the final game I want to talk about in this video, you have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to be real. Eagles fans, y'all make it very hard for me to like the Eagles. Y'all make it very hard for me to support a guy like Jalen Hurts because y'all overrate this man so much, and I would think after this season it would be exposed because don't get me wrong, like the Eagles are a team. Let's go ahead and just start talking about the Eagles, right? The Eagles are a team to where yes they won the NFC East, the weak NFC East, anyways. The Eagles are a team to where, bro, they are inconsistent. They have honestly had one of the, and like we can watch it. They have had one of the worst offenses in the NFL, and it just doesn't make sense when we have AJ Brown and you have Devontae Smith. Now, I will say this: a lot of that is coaching. A lot of that is offensive coordinator just plain old being not good. But this team is competitive because they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. That's why they're competitive. That's why they're able to pull out these games, win these games against the Lions and against the Bills, and because they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. Truthfully told, but with the way this offense is playing, and with San Francisco being the team that we know that San Francisco is, I just honestly, like, with yes, some of this being a coaching issue for the Eagles, I think a lot of it is just a personnel issue. I think you're asking Jalen Hurts to do a lot of things that he just cannot do. Go out there and win games, make plays. And not to say he can't make plays. We saw him how he played in the Super Bowl. We've seen the way he's played over these past couple of years. He has capability of making plays, but he can't do it consistently. He's not a guy who you're like, yo. He's not a guy who's consistently out there making the passes that you need, putting it in tight windows, making the throws that you want. He's not the guy that is sitting up here doing these types of things. He's not the guy that has this great improvisation back in the pocket, making all these extra plays, extending them on his legs. He is not that guy. He isn't. I'm sorry to say, I know it's going to infuriate some of you guys. I love Jalen Hurts. I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, but I'm also honest about who he is. And I think we saw that this season. He's not a guy who's elevating his offense or anything like that. Truthfully told. And you go up against a team like the 49ers. Man, the 49ers, they were third in the NFC West because they had the Rams and the Eagles in that motherfucker. You got those two teams in your division. It's going to be pretty hard to finish at the top of the division. But they have been tested this season, bro. They beat the Seattle in the first game of the season. They were able to my fault, y'all. They were able to be competitive versus Jacksonville Jaguars. They beat the Rams earlier in the season. They sat up here. They nominated us. Jesus Christ. But I believe they got one more. Yeah, they beat the Bears. I remember. Yeah, they beat the Bears. And they have had some this is a close game as well because CMC had fumbled the ball when they were in the red zone. So, this is a San Francisco team that I just trust more. And I think they have the better coach. I think they have the better team. And I think they're going to beat the Eagles. I think the San Francisco 49ers, I don't think they're going to handle the Eagles. This Eagles defense is too good. And the Eagles offense, they have enough talent to be able to get over some of these, humps. But give me the San Francisco 49ers. So in the next round, on the NFC, I have the Panthers beating the Rams. I have the Bears beating the Packers. And I have the 49ers beating the Eagles. The AFC, the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Bills. The Patriots the Chargers over the Patriots. And the Texans over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Those are my predictions. If you agree, cool. If you don't, let me know why. Leave all that down below. Like I said earlier, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel as well. And that's all I got. And until next time, peace.